So one of the odd things about hurricane season is it seems as though the hurricanes really suck the energy out of the whole South Atlantic. Well, I don't mean South Atlantic, the south part of the North Atlantic and Caribbean Sea. I don't know how true that is, but I can tell you that with the hurricanes that have gone by, other than when the hurricanes are blowing, everything else is very nice. Here we are, coming back into Guaiania. And Luke actually let me do the job. My mate Luke has been doing most of the work because he wants all the practice around. So this time I had to make sure I still knew how to do it. So strap in, here we go. Hello and welcome. I'm Tim and this is TimBatSea. And hey, guess what? We're down in the Caribbean. That's right, no longer in New York. Well, just a little change of contract here and a little change of scenery. So if you want to see something different, maybe a side of the Caribbean you've never seen before, come on over every Tuesday and see what we do down here. It's a different type of the towing industry. It's actually towing on the wire. A lot of deep water towing, crazy ports, all kinds of fun stuff. So come along and strap in and hope you enjoy the ride. So as you can probably hear and see, I'm trying to do a little something different here. What I've done is I've put a camera on the back showing what's going on, and I've put a handheld radio next to it so you can hear us talking the different things we're saying. I also did a screen capture of my tablet running Navionics so you can see us in real time. Well, it was once real time. And our speed...
Seats in upright positions, don't get tray tables, and away we go.
You can see where we're going in the bay. Now you can see I'm starting to do my move right here. And you can see we still have almost 3 knots on way on the barge, and that's a technique that I really like. Not everybody likes to do this. I find it very helpful, especially when the wind's blowing. Right now the wind's not blowing, so it's still fine. But the idea is that you keep enough weight on the barge, not so it runs you over and trips the tug. That would be a disaster. No, but you have enough so that you can get out in front of the tug, roll around beside it, and instead of making the tug go sideways, you basically get in position and allow the barge with its way to continue on by you. So right now, I'm sucking in on the wire, and that's pulling the stern over. Now the problem is if I get my bow pinched over, then I'll make a V between the bow of the barge and the stern of the tug, and the water will actually pull me away. If I have the stern cranked in at an angle, the water, because we're doing 0.7 knots astern right now, the water will pull us over there. So I know that I need to get... Now you see, right now, I'm starting to realize I'm getting flat, and it looks like the barge is accelerating, but that's not what's happening. What's happening is that I have lost momentum, so you heard me back up really hard there, and that's where I'm trying to match the speed of the barge. So it gives a relative...
Currently about 15 wide off the barge. Alright, make my way over there, call me in.
So it makes the relative speed seem like 0. Now that my chief engineer is working the deck, and he is up in the bow, and he says he's calling me in to get the bow over there. So this is where I got to be careful, because I bring the bow over, and hopefully I get the line up before the water pulls us off. I can get flat there too.
Wide off the barge with the bow.
But one of the problems with laying flat is that because the bow comes to a point, the chief has a very heavy line. It's hard to get up to the guy up on the barge. So I have to kind of pinch the bow in at this point. Now one of the things that makes this work out really well is that this is an old trick that we used to do in dredging all the time. And that's that as you're rounding up on the barge, you continue to keep one engine ahead and pushing on the barge, and it actually spins the barge around. Because when we get done,
And look, if you get into trouble, I mean, once you get that thing, don't wrap it all up. Remember how much we put up the last time? That was perfect. Try to get as close as possible.
yeah, I just wanted you guys to.
Start backing up. Stand by, let me get a wrap and a half. Yeah, you got it.
I'm talking over myself. I apologize. Yeah. So when we get done, we're going to be made up heads and tails. So the barge has to be oriented 180 degrees from the way it is right now. So while
I got a wrap on him. Got another 5 or 6 feet off the barge. Alright, very good.
this is something that we used to do in dredging.
I'm backing up, and I'd say I got about 5 more feet to back up, then lock it up.
Okay, so I'm in the doghouse, so I can't see the chief right now, and the chief is up in the bow, and he can't see me.
If it's fleshed up there, go ahead and wrap that up.
So he and I are communicating via radio, and I'm telling him to lock it up or wrap it up, and that means that he's going to make the line fast, and then I'm going to back into the line with the engines and start sucking in on the wire. And technically we could leave it just like this, but it's not a good practice to keep, it's not good seamanship just to tow alongside and put a lot of pressure on the wire. So since we have these massive tires on the side of the boat, the chief is now going to put the soft line, and that's going to run, perpendicular to the barge, so it's going to go up like at a 90-degree angle. And that soft line will pull us tight. I'll be able to relax the wire a little bit. And what I'm really doing is compressing those big tires up on the side, and that they hold us in place so we don't slide forward or back. Or at least that's what the hope is. So you'll see the chief is holding a black piece, and that's the anti-chafing gear. We call it the chafing gear, but it's really to keep it from chafing. And this is a scary time both for the chief and for me. One of my friends was doing this, and actually engineer got his finger stuck in there and lost the finger doing that once. And I don't know that it was my friend's fault or not, but that's something I wouldn't want to carry. Guilty conscience for the rest of my life. Chief be 9-fingered after that. So the chief makes sure that he has somebody holding the ladder, and our ladder is actually bolted to the side of the boat, so the boat is in place, and they'll have the tankerman hold the other ladder in his flat calm. But we fight the way we train, and so if we always do it the same way and we always do it safe, we minimize the possibilities of a ladder accident. Which is kind of odd. The chief and I were talking about this the other day, saying that, of all the things that could go wrong, everyone thinks you could drown or have a fire or explosion or something like that. But the two things on the boat that are things that we have to watch out the most for are working around the wire and the ladders. Those are the, falling off the ladder is unfortunately more common than it should be, and ladder safety is something that we really try to strive for. But I walk up to the upper house. Woo! The air conditioning's not on yet. And find out it's a lot hotter than I expected. Anyway, I'm going to let you listen here for a little while. Okay, shut up. Nadia, perfecto.
Gracias.
This boat has the line up right in the right position. Okay, Nadia, clutch ahead on 1.
Push ahead on 109.
So if you're wondering why there was a pause there, that's when I'm turning on the systems. I'm getting everything up. I'm checking, make sure the steering's working, make sure that the engine controls are working, setting up the chart plotter, obviously letting the air conditioner hopefully do its thing. But now we have to push the barge around and point it towards the dock we're going to. So we have an assist. So why don't we use it?
Beautiful day here in Guayana.
Now it's a good little jaunt from here over to the dock, so we've increased this by tenfold for the speed. And it might not look like it's going that fast, and that's kind of by design. When you have this much weight, you can't really move too quickly, because then you have to pull, I've said in other videos, power in equals power out. So if you start moving around too much, you have to bleed that energy off at the other end. So I figured it'd be good just to speed this up by 10 times and let it speed through and have you see us approach the dock. So the plan here, that you can see the manifold up ahead of us there, the chick stands there, that's where we're headed. And so if I wanted to be a real hero, moving 10,000 tons of stuff here, or 9,000 or something like that, plus the weight of the barge, it'd be nice to go flying up here, turn 90 degrees to the right, and slide it right in there like a rock star. But this is one of those things where kind of reminds me of the pilot
Julian, do we have a cone or a flag or anything? Do we know where we're going yet, or we just get up against the dock and then we'll figure it out?
I'm not sure, Tim. Yeah, when we close up, sorry, you'll know.
All right, no problem. Alright, clutch ahead on 1.
Push ahead on 1.
Yeah, so I was just saying, coming in at warp factor 5 and doing an awesome job like that, it kind of reminds me of the pilots that say there are bold pilots and old pilots, but no old bold pilots. So yeah, when you do it, you look like a rock star, and when you don't do it, you're on or if it doesn't work out that way, you usually go home. So bringing it up 100 feet wide, getting it to settle down, and slowly bringing it into the dock is usually the preferred method, or at least it is for me.
We're better than 100 feet from the dock, but I'll let you know when we look pretty flat.
All right. Clutch ahead on 2 on the 90.
Push ahead on 2.
So this is where, I'm fighting every instinct in me to want to drive this thing right over there and get it done. But like I was saying before, the faster you get it going, the more energy you're going to have to take out of it when you get over there. So let it go nice and easy.
Okay, now just back to 1. Just clutch ahead on 1 now.
Push ahead on 1.
And if anyone's wondering how this is being done, I have my rudder hard over to the starboard.
You're not quite flat. Your working
And I'm
bow is still ahead of your working swan. I'd say we're about 100 off right now.
Very good.
I have my rudder hard right, and I'm doing a right twist. So in other words, my port engine is forward and my starboard engine is astern. So what that's doing is that's moving the stern over. It would also mean that the bow would come out, but because I have the assist tug up there in the bow, and I say the bow, it's the working bow. It's in front of me, so that's why we're calling it the bow.
I'd say we're pretty flat right now.
He's pushing against that, so I'm pushing against him.
Okay.
He's pushing against me, and the end result is hopefully a sideways motion towards the dock.
Julian. We ought to be right on the spot, right?
Still looking flat, Captain. Probably about 60 off.
All right, we're just gonna let her settle in nice and easy.
We'll have probably 40 feet or so to come ahead, but yeah, just keep coming in and line up.
Roger.
Still pretty flat. Looks like your stern might be about 5 foot ahead of your bow.
All right.
Alright, Tim, we're passing the connection now. We're about 5 feet past.
Okay. Nadia Peak, just give me a bump astern. Just back, stretch your line, and then stop.
Duration, stop.
Now we call this
How are we looking, Chief?
We're flat. We're about 30 wide.
Oh, okay.
we call that command checking it up. So in other words, the working bow of the barge, that's the part you're looking at right there, was moving in a little quickly than I wanted it to. So
Yeah, that's perfect. 90 up. That's perfect. I'll stop.
So I have the assist tug just stretch their line, and they're just basically taking some of the energy out of it so that it checks it up, it slows it down going that way. I remember
Come on, Chief. Tell me what I'm doing.
Sorry, Cap. I was just waiting until you got 20 off. You're about there now. 20 wide. We're going really slow. That's why I hadn't counted you down yet.
No problem, man. Thanks.
Looking good. Nice and flat.
Very good.
So you can probably see, you know, we have an air draft of 76 feet. So I'm not quite at 76 feet, but I'm pretty close to that in the upper house. And as you can see, we could see the whole dock, and it looked like we were up against the dock, and we still had 40 feet to go.
Did we just touch up on the working bow?
No, sir, we didn't. We are flat, and we are at least 15 wide, or between 15 and 20 wide right now.
All right. Nadia, just give me a bump ahead and then stop.
Bump ahead.
Now I'm having him put the energy back into the
Your
barge.
stern's coming in a little faster in the bow. I guess the 90 will catch itself.
Yep.
Yes, stop.
Very good, thank you.
You're 10 wide on your stern, you're 15 on your bow, and the bow's starting to catch up, coming in all the time. It's good.
All right.
Five wide on the working stern, 10 on the bow. First line's going out now.
Very good.
Working stern's touching up in 2, and working bow's touching up in 5.
All right, Nadia, give me a clutch ahead on 1.
Go ahead on 1.
Now he was 5 feet off, and the reason why I said clutch ahead on 1
I'm sorry, Captain, I'm gonna wrap this up and go take a look at the spot.
Very good, understood.
is because by the time he puts his engines that way, there's a delay.
Cap,
So-
work ahead slightly into his first line, please.
So I'm trying to time
ahead.
it so that just as we touch up, then he's putting pressure on
Probably
to
got
hold
about
us in
6-7
position.
feet to go before his first line is cut.
Very good.
Bow is still touching, stern's about 5 off right now.
All right, I'll get that over for you.
So the assist tug did his job, and now I've got to squeeze my stern over by
How are we
twisting
doing coming
against
into that
it.
line?
Captain, pull your bow off just ever so slightly, if you would, please.
I'll stop, Nadia.
Stop.
Hey, we're gonna need to come back. Sorry, I'm trying to get on ready to tell you guys.
Okay.
We're gonna want to come back about 20 feet, and then then we'll be able to work into it.
All right.
Pull in everything that you can, Chief, and then just start inching it off.
Roger.
So this is a common thing that happens, and it's nothing that we're proud of, but sometimes when you're off, the people will think that you're in position, but if you're 5 feet off and the line's going 40 feet back, by the time you get to the dock, you are now slid ahead another 5
Right
feet.
now, so we'll just come back up, 5 more feet, then we'll put the line out, or we'll have something to work into.
Very good.
Chief, is that line set up to where we can work into it? Is there enough space?
Yes, it's still got about a 5-foot cord leading out. It'll be about 10 once you come to a stop.
You're taking everything that you can. We're gonna want to come ahead about exactly 10 feet.
All right, Chief, can I have the Nydia push us onto the dock, or is that going to get the bow messed up?
The bow is already in. You can have them pin it, yes. There's just this little cluster of dolphins ahead of us. It sits a little bit inboard of the main pier, but if we're at an angle, we might hit it.
All right, well, don't let us do that, all right? I'm twisting the stern in. I'm going to have him start working. Nydia, clutch on one.
So, so the technique the tankerman is using is that if
Okay,
he
I'm
needs to
starting to come ahead real slow.
Yes, please.
if he's shooting for a spot, he knows that I can drive into it. It's very hard to back it up and get it exactly there. So what we do is we'll back up 20 feet, even though he only needs 10 feet, and then they'll come into the line, get flat against the dock, and they'll check the line until they get into the place where they want to be.
All right, I'm just coasting now.
And the reason why they do this is that all those rubber hoses, you would think they'd have some leeway, but apparently they need to be relatively close to which one of those hoses they're going to connect to.
But I'll keep kind of up for you.
Yeah, let's see how the let's get it tight and see where we're at.
Hey, I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but we have a new merch store. Our old merch company fell out of favor with YouTube. Hopefully you'll see a merch shelf below your
Yeah, I'm working the stern over
browser, you know, below where you're watching the video. If that doesn't happen, you can go to my page and click on the where it says store, and you'll see everything. And I'll put a link in the description too. If none of those works, I'll give you a link so you can go directly to the store. If you want to support these videos, think about coming over and joining our Patreon crew. We'd love to have you. Some people join for $2 a month, and it really helps out, and really appreciate it.
Actually, can I get you to do it the other way around? Just because I'm having difficulty holding the Nydia's overpowered. You know, I'm pivoting with him. So if you've got the bow of the barge, the working stern first, that would help me out a lot. Thank you.
So thank you so much for watching, you guys, and take care. And if you haven't seen my other channel, SV Paquita, I'll put a link in for that too. You guys take care. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you guys on the one.
And that's it.